right, we are live in season 5. Welcome to the FIF 5th season of interviewing the best in emerging hip-hop artists, garden interests from homestead to commercial ag, and bourbon whiskey distillers. My name is Joe Skibby, and this is Beats, Beds, and Browns. Our stated goal to extend our interviews across the globe was successful in season 4. Now we will have 2 seasons, both spring and fall, to interview people everywhere there are dope rhymes, harvest times, and whiskey meet. Sipping slow while the bass hits the beat. Grain to glass, we craft it right. Smooth on the tongue with a fiery bite. Raise a toast, let the bottle unwind. Stories told as we blur the lines. Join us throughout the rest of season 5 as we cut it up Wednesdays at 7 p.m. live. October 16th, V8 Vast Change. A rising rap artist known for his introspective lyrics and thought-provoking messages. Wednesday, October 23rd, Clint Brower, CEO of Greenfield Robotics, forward-thinking entrepreneur, revolutionizing agriculture through technology. Then on the 30th, Robert Colangelo, founder and host of the Green Sense podcast, leading voice in sustainable living and environmental innovation. And then we close out season 5, November 6th, with Harvey Williams, CEO of Delta Dirt Distillery, visionary entrepreneur blending his agricultural roots with a passion for distilling. Stay tuned to @BeatsBedsBrowns for additional episode announcements. And let's not forget our mission to distribute 100,000 heirloom seed kits over the next 10 years. We want to introduce people to growing their own food. Whether you've got acres or just a balcony, you can start growing your own food. To date, we've given out over 5 figures in seed kits across the country. You can register for yours at beatsbedsbrowns.com. Tap into our social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Again, @BeatsBedsBrowns. Make sure you subscribe on your social media of choice to get notified of our content releases. And please participate in the comments section throughout our content. We want to hear from you. Welcome to those of you joining us after the live taping. We see you. And now, in today's episode of Beats, Beds, and Browns, we're thrilled to sit down with Renard Lewis, founder of Renard Whiskey, a brand that's redefining the craft whiskey scene with its unique approach to distilling and community-driven philosophy. Renard is a passion not only for creating excellent whiskey, but also for fostering connections between land, agriculture, and the communities that support sustainable practices. We'll explore the intersection of craft whiskey, local ag, and the importance of storytelling and building a brand that truly resonates with its customers. Let's get into it. Renard, thanks for joining us this afternoon. How you feeling?
I feel good. I'm happy to be here. Great intro. Thank you for having me.
All right. We're going to work through some tech challenges we've got with Renard's connection, but we're going to start with the same question we ask of artists, farmers, distillers. Where you been, where you at, and where you going?
Well, I'm fairly new, so my story part wouldn't be as some of the other ones. I grew up in Illinois, so was like my dad, being a little kid looking up to his dad. I was interested in that. But when I got older, that whiskey kind of burned a little bit. And I didn't like that burn in my chest. So I wanted to, create my own whiskey brand with less burn. So that's what I sought out to do. I gifted myself for my birthday a whiskey business. So that way my birthday gift can always give back to me. So that's kind of how the background of how I got started with my journey was wanted to gift myself distillery. It's not a ton of minorities in this business, especially those that's not celebrities. You got some celebrities in it, but non-celebrities, it's not a ton of us in there. But those of us that is in there, we have some high quality product, and we sell good. Right now, I am working very hard for this business. I'm in a lot of places. Lot of places having meetings, just doing things the back door. I'm not in a lot of stores. I'm in 3 stores right now. One is Bev Does, on 184th and Torrance in Glenwood. 184th at Halsted in Glenwood. And Lansing on 174th in Torrance. And in Chicago at A&S in Hyde Park is off 53rd and Woodlawn. Most people know it as Kenwood Liquors. Also, I'm in a few bar and grills. Blacks on 76th in Cottage Grove. Miss Peaches and Olympic Fields off 190th Crawford. Country Club Hills off 190th in Crawford. I'm in the Royal Bistro on 174th in Torrance in Lansing. I just had a meeting this week with a couple of hotels downtown Chicago who are going to put me on board. So I told them that I wouldn't say their name quite out until I'm actually on the shelf, because one reason they don't want people asking for something that's not there. So I haven't had time for the delivery to get there yet. So that announcement will become really soon within the next week. In the future, some of the things that we're looking for. I'm looking forward to have my own distillery in Chicago. And right now, I'm meeting with people to make that dream come true. So therefore, we have total control from grass, or should I say the corn, all the way to the point it gets to your lip. I want everything to be in Chicago, or try to do Chicagoland area. We talked with some people that will work with the minority, the Black-owned farmers in the area, and just trying to build up from that perspective and make some mighty good fine whiskey for customers to drink. It's the same old thing that most people have been drinking for over 200 years. Palates have changed since then. Some of the taste buds are not the same in 2024 as they was in 1824. So so we have a lot more seasonings and things like that. So we just spice it up a little bit. My logo is a fox. I have two foxes. Here it is on my shirt.
Love that logo. Love the merch. Definitely got to get that out there, man. I want to be wearing that.
Yeah, I got to get you some. So one of the things about that is whiskey is known to be harsh. And my thing is Renard Whiskey is definitely refreshingly cunning like a fox. So that's kind of the thing that I'm going with, because foxes are slick. They have that thing where you never know what they're up to. So if you know what whiskey has been known for, this is not that. So it's cunningly refreshing, and you should really enjoy the taste of it.
I love it. I love it. So it sounds easy. You just decided on your birthday to start a distillery, but we know there's a little bit more to that. I mean, there's federal regulations, there's the distillation process, there's the racking and storage. Talk to me a little bit about some of the hurdles that you faced, either just as a startup craft distillery or particularly as an African-American distiller.
I'm not a paperwork person. I'm a put me in front of people person. So knowing who you are as a person makes a difference, right? So if I'm a put me in front of people person, I do well there. The paperwork that had to go in with the federal TTB, it was just, I had to do it over and over and over again because I wasn't hitting the mark, and that's my fault. I take the blame on it. I didn't think it was nothing that was serious, but eventually I got on the phone with somebody. We worked it out. But it took me, and I should be ashamed to say this, but it took me almost a year to do the paperwork, and most people do it in like a sitting or two, so like a day or two. So I go back and forth, and I got frustrated. I'm gonna be honest, I got frustrated, and So I just like, I put it off for about a month or so until I like, okay, I can deal with another rejection if it happens. And then I go back to it, where I could have did things a whole lot faster. Learning, find somebody to know this business better than you. I walked in there like, yeah, can I just sell my liquor here? It's about to be on store. They start asking me questions that I didn't know the answer to. Do you have this license? Do you have that license? And now I lowered my value before I was even in the stores because I didn't have the answers. So some of the things that you should know, find out as much as you can. You can go online to find out some information, but some of this stuff is bulk lessons, as my parents would say. You're going to pay for them. Because I spent a lot of money paying for lessons that if I would have talked to someone else, it would have came easily, But I'm happy for it, I've learned that. I studied harder. I've met with people. I've talked with people. The more people you can sit down with, the better off you are. You may not like what they say. They might talk down to you. They may tell you that you're not worthy. Take that. Prove them wrong if they're being negative.
Keep the receipts. You bet, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's a couple of stores that I was in who I'm not in anymore because they said that my stuff would never sell. They were disappointed at their salesperson for even bringing it in the store. And it sold out in 3 weeks.
Nice.
And so, which a lot of the other stuff wasn't moving off the shelf. So then that guy asked me, what you do, go bang on doors and beg people to buy your stuff or pay people to do it? I said, I got quality liquor. That's what I have. That's what sells. A good quality liquor will sell. A lot of people taste it and they're like, okay, this is not what I thought it was, and I'm happy to have it. And then cigar smokers, oh my God. I go to a cigar event, they love it. They was like, this goes perfectly with the cigar that I have. So this weekend I'm doing a cigar event on 99th in Torrance. So I'm doing that on Friday night. And I may be doing one more on Saturday. But yeah, I stay busy doing events. I do a lot of tastings. I did this thing called the Clink Fest. And oh my God, was it amazing. Amazing.
Those are events you're able to not only sample, but then also sell product, or are you restricted in terms of where you can sell product?
So the Clink Fest is something that you could sell products to as well. You do tastings. They have a licensed seller there who buys your stuff and then he resells it. So through your distributor. So yeah, you can go there and you could try minority spirits, like a host of minority spirits. And after you try the host of minority spirits, you'll be like, I like this, I like that, I like that. And there was a QR code just to ring you up to the pay site, and it was like instant, like boom, and just go pick it up right there on site. Everything on site, and just like it was just good. It was really good. The atmosphere is amazing. It had a great DJ. It had like 15 to 20 chefs there. There was giving samples of what they do best, and it was just like, it was really amazing. It was really amazing. I was really proud of that event.
Glad to hear it. Yeah, it sounds like slowly climbing the ladder, getting into stores, getting into hotels, events. When you're fighting for shelf space in the store, is that you're the one doing the selling? You're going in and talking to the liquor stores, or you have to go through a distributor?
Right now, I'm the one going in. So I'm not at the point where the distributors go in, have a conversation and stuff. I'm still at the point where I go to the stores, I talk to the people, asking them, do they have like a special space for minority liquor? Do they have a special place for Chicago brands? Do they have a special place? So I do that part. I come back, I do the tastings myself. So I'm at the store doing tastings, and to help move them off the shelf. So I'm doing multiple things at the store to help them sell, and also help me, sell. So the better they do.
Dealing with a little bit of technical challenge there. If you're watching now and you haven't gotten your free seed kit, beetsbedsbrowns.com. You can currently register for dill, acorn squash, or pumpkin. We're going to ship that starter seed kit directly to you in the contiguous 48. Again, to date, we've given out 5 figures in free seed kits across the country, and we want to make sure that you're growing your own, get away from the commercial growing sector, and enjoying some fine wine or some fine whiskeys and some good music while you're doing it. So, Renard, I think you're back. Can you talk about the role local ingredients play in your distillation process?
The ingredients are very, very important. So, knowing where your stuff is sourced makes a difference, right? Sometimes you can get stuff like they had landfills. They sold to people, and people started growing products on that. But when you know where your stuff is growing, you can kind of get the history of the land and the farm in which the seeds come from. And, I'm not as technical as some of the farmers are with it. They go into a whole spiel about it. But the good thing is, you know where your stuff comes from. You have a more comfortable way of signing off on it because of knowing where it's from.
Sure, and we've heard from some other distillers. There's particular regions that you want to buy seed from for different flavor profiles, and even seasonal weather swings can impact flavor and the different hints and notes that produces. So how do you make sure that you're just delivering and distilling a uniform product year after year?
So I am a small batch distiller. So each batch that you get is going to be slightly different. It's not going to be identical. So I can't control that 100%. A lot of times when those are controlled, they're putting chemicals in there. And I do not put chemicals in my liquor. So that helps. The whiskey that I have is all natural. So no chemicals added, which makes a difference, right? You get a consistent taste with some of these other ones, but they got additives. And when I say chemicals, that don't mean that they're the worst thing in the world. It could be just a little flavor, added or something like that, because they're known for their consistent flavor. I'm not at the point where I have a 15-year, 20-year, and or 5 to different years barrels where I can put a little bit of the old with a little bit of the new to keep that profile the same. So that's one of the things I'm working on. And I think when I get my own distillery, that would help. It'd make it a lot easier for that to happen. And so that's why that's so important for me. And I'm working so hard. We got the people working on grants and things like that. We're talking to aldermen, seeing who wants to, who has some land that we can, manufacture to make this happen. So it's a few things that we're working on to try to, accomplish this goal.
I hope they're fighting over it. The tourism around distillery visits and tours is unbelievable. I know, again, through prior interviews, there's shortage in oak as you relate to how you make bourbon, and other grain shortages as it ties to, the weather patterns. How important is sustainability in your distilling practices, and why is that important to you and your brand?
I'm here for the long haul. So I'm not here just like, hey, I just want to do this just to say I did it. So, with that being said, everything counts. Everything counts. From getting to know the farmers all the way to knowing the bottlers, people that make the company, having a good relationship there, and so therefore you'll know when things are switching, when things are changing. They'll tell you first, like, hey, we have a good relationship, so I want to tell you this may not be good for you right now. However, down the street, that might be a better product for you. And then they have a lot of relationship with other farmers. That's just for example. When you have your own distillery, you have your own storage space. You can speed up how often you put out different versions versus how often you hold back, because you may want to hold back because right now is a high demand, and you either gonna feed the demand or you're gonna hold back and raise the price. So then you have control over things like that. So those things is a factor as well. So yeah.
Controlling the
I'm here for the
commodities
long haul.
market. We've even heard that the evolution of whiskey is a store of value, right? If you have corn, that's a degradable product. You distill it and put it into whiskey. Not only does it increase the value, but allows you to store it for longer. Knowing that distilling is a science as well as an art. Talk to me about some of the creative solutions as you were developing, Renard whiskey that you had to solve for.
Before I got my whiskey, I like to juice. So like I go get ginger roots and turmeric and things like that, and I juice them myself. And so I will make this juice, and sometimes I will just pour a little bit of my whiskey to give it some, or whatever the case may be. So I thought that might be a good idea initially to try to have that. Turns out it wasn't a good idea. Back and forth for a while, making moonshine and different things to try to come up with like that aha taste. Like this, we have something here taste. So did that, and it took a little while. Took a little while to do that. When we finally got it to where we wanted it, I'm like, this is it. Let's bottle it. Let's barrel it, and see how everything changes at that point. We use American oak. Everybody use different kind of barrels. We use American oak, and we put it in there. And the notes that came off of that, the caramelization of it all, I was really impressed. I was impressed by it. I enjoyed it. We also distilled it like at different points. So distilling it once, distilling it twice. We settled on distilling it 3 times, which also helps, with the smoothness of it all.
I was going to say, you're losing the head and the tail on each one of those distillations. So you're cutting through product as a way to get to that smooth end note, huh?
Yeah, which is also what makes it yield a little bit higher pay. The cost is a little bit more because we lose every time we redistill it. So we do it once, you lose so much. We do it 2 times, you lose twice as much. That 3rd time, you lose 3 times as much. So you're losing up to like 30% of your batch, and not to mention what you lose annually when you put it in the barrel. So you're losing a lot. So it raised the cost, but the quality, you can't beat it.
Nice. With craft spirits being such a competitive industry, you're fighting your way onto the shelves. How are you building community around Renard?
I've done a few things as far as with breast cancer. They had some events that they asked me. I donated to that. in my community where I grew up at, I coached wrestling for the park district over 20 years. So we did some fundraisers with that and had like a concert and to get back and done stuff, you know, just to give back in different ways like that. The latest thing I've done was sometimes it might just be a tasting that I do to give back in the community, have community up fundraisers and things like that. Even like when I go down to my university, I've done stuff when they have fundraisers there and done tastings there to help draw and support doing different things.
Nice. I may know the answer since hearing the backstory, you wanted a smoother whiskey. But in terms of a whiskey collection, do you have one? And which one is your favorite, and what's the story behind it?
No, I do not have a whiskey collection. Me drinking, I mean, make my own. I did do a lot of Crown Royal. I did do a lot of that, but that was because of the marketing that they had. So it was good at the time.
Fair enough. You know, how do you envision the future of Renard? Are there any upcoming releases or projects you're particularly excited about, things coming down the pipe?
So right now, we're on our beta batch of a product. And so what I want to do is to appeal to the Black community. When I get a Greek letter or associated with the Greek organization, I'm going to color my bottles that color of that Greek organization to also honor them at that time. And I'll do, you know, some autograph signings and things like that when I get there. So that'll be good and fun when I get there, which is coming up soon. The first ones would be for the ladies of Delta Sigma Thetas that I do their colors. And so that should be fun. I'm not going to put any of their logo and thing on it. I'm just going to do their colors. So that should be fun. So that's one thing I'm excited about. The other thing is I'm debating on maybe a rye. Coming out with a rye whiskey. So it'll have a little more burn, but as long as it has that same smooth edge, and I think that our customers will love it.
Absolutely. Can't wait. Looking forward to it. You shared a little bit about the challenges in the first year, getting through the paperwork, getting through a recipe. As you've grown, as you've gotten some wins under your belt, you're in stores now, you're working on hotels. Can you talk about some of the other challenges you faced through your journey in the whiskey business?
The number one challenge I face is money.
Oh, we're having a little bit more connection challenge. We're going to go ahead and share that if you haven't gotten your free seed kit at beatsbudsbrowns.com, please do so. We're working through some connection issues with Renard as he answers the question, what challenges he's faced along his journey in the whiskey business and how he's overcome them.
Am I back?
You're back.
Okay, good. So the biggest challenge I probably face is finances. So I've been funding everything strictly out of my back pocket up until now. So to scale up, like what I've heard ever since I was a little kid, it takes money to make money. So the more money I could put into it, the more money I get out of it. Right. So I'm trying to I just got to get more money to put into it. Number two is I'm not a social media type guy. So I'm not on social media very often and things like that. So therefore my production and notoriety and, that's the way sales go a lot now is through social media. So I need someone, creative director who can come in, make me look beautiful, make the product look, not me necessarily, the product look great, because I don't need to be seen. It's not about me as an individual. It's more about the product. So I need someone who could come in and take care of that portion of it. The third portion is getting somebody who's have experience in the business, who knows, like, have relationships. Have relationships to get you in and out of places. I found somebody like that. And it's actually, the good thing is one of my fraternity brothers. So I'm a member of Omega Psi Phi fraternity. And when we was at our national meetings, we bumped into each other and we just got to chatting and talking. And he like, yeah, I got 25 years of experience. And I'm like, oh, wow. It's a reason why I'm here. We're in the same space, So it's like, yeah, he's like, I've been doing this in your area for 15 years in Chicago. I'm like, even better. I'm in your wheelhouse. So yeah, those are the big challenges. Finding somebody who has the connections, finding somebody who, a creative director who has your vision. Because I had some people do little projects and I took them on full time because I need to make sure that they're selling my vision.
It's important.
You understand? Yeah. So every vision out there, everybody has their own vision and I have my own vision. So I need to make sure they're selling my vision. There's a lot of people who can do the job, but I just need I need them to sell my vision. And upscale is the way I'm going with my vision. And so I did some like when I did a scholarship, I did an upscale scholarship event, and I made what I call a green fox. It's basically a whiskey martini. So I add apple pucker to it. It changes the color to a greenish tone. And I did that for the ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha. I gave out samples at their scholarship fundraiser. So get somebody who can highlight that, making green foxes and then post that out there. That is like one of the challenges that I have, to find somebody that's on the same page with my vision. And finances, know how that goes. Everybody needs money. Everybody's looking for money. Everybody wants money. So if I can land a grant or, get the line of credit, all those little things help to grow the business, go along with land and, things like that. I can utilize it to better me in so many different ways.
And are you trying to keep the business privately held? So you're not necessarily looking for outside investors. You're just trying to secure financing.
Correct. Right now, excuse me. Right now, I'm just trying to secure financing. If I come to that point, I will do that, but I'm not there.
Nice.
I know it's a ton of people who've asked me. They're like, hey, I believe in you. I believe in your product. I want to invest. And hold on. I'm kind of new to business as well, and I don't want to rush into anything and find out later on that I made a bad deal. So not making a deal is better than making a bad deal to me. So I keep this guarded to my chest very tightly. I need to build some trust with some people who will help me out with finances, show me a vision, make it make sense to me. Because if it don't initially make sense to me, then I'm automatically going to turn it down. I have no problem with turning it down,
Absolutely. We've had the pleasure of interviewing Jesse Stewart Jr. at Alexander James.
Yeah.
Same article you were featured with in the Sun Times, and we see Bull Young Bourbon, and then in the craft distiller side, and on the other side of that, we see the Beyoncés and the Fawn Weavers that are really taking advantage of the opportunity that's presented right now. And I'll throw in the I think it's AMC Distilled documentary where we came to know about Delta Dirt Distillery. Do you see all the additional competition as beneficial to getting your brand? You mentioned, do you have a Chicago-based or do you have an African-American-based section within your liquor store? How are those competitors helping or hurting your cause?
I look at it as a help. Like right now, I think there is an emerging minority spirits trend in Chicago. It's emerging. I can see it like they're building conversations is being had. Before I started with my whiskey, I did not even know that there were other whiskeys out there that existed. The small guys as we are. I didn't know that they existed. So I found out that they existed after I did my thing. And it was a little before me, yeah, Jesse, good guy. Danny Wabuya, good guy. These guys are some good guys. We've done things together. We've been at events together. We cheer each other on, so we're not here to we're friendly competitors. You know what I mean? Yeah. We laugh at, like you compete at something and you laugh and have a drink afterwards. That's how we are. We're the friendly competitors. So which is great to have people in there, they friendly competitors. So like when they're unable to do something alone, they might call me like, hey, I was supposed to speak at this event. Can you speak at this event for me? Because I know that you can handle it. And I could call them, we're able to call one another and speak to them. So I think that far as the Chicago-based spirits, when it comes to that, we are helping one another. Because now they're saying, what else is out there? Yeah. Let me try something else. As far as the celebrity brands, I don't know if that helps us much or not, because they're buying the name of the celebrity versus buying the product on their initial buy. Yeah. And I'm not saying that it's bad whiskey, bad liquor. I'm not saying any of that, but what's driving that force is the celebrity name. You know what I mean? After they drink it, then they make the decision on if it's something they like or not, and that goes for us too. Once you drink it, you got to make a decision. Is this something I like? Is this something I'm going to, frequent? Is this something that I'm going to spend my hard-earned money on? Up until then, it's a novelty item.
Right. Locally
owned brands, small batches are novelty items until it becomes a reoccurring thing. I got this one time. It's sitting on the shelf. Oh, just because it was somebody who was Black owned that bought it. Just because, that's a novelty item. So what my goal is I don't mind them having it as a novelty item to start off with. If that's what gets you in the door, that's fine. But once you drink it, you're going to realize that I need to put one up for display, but I also need one to sip on here and there. I see you sipping over there. I got some stuff to do, so I can't sip.
I know, yeah. That's our Wednesday routine. We go live. We got a drink. Actually, we had an Alec Bradley cigar earlier, so I can appreciate the combination there. And, I'm going to definitely stop next time I'm in the city rolling through and pick up some Renard. But we also cover emerging hip-hop artists as well as ag interests. So what are you listening to while you're distilling? Are you a hip-hop head? Are you a jazz guy? Are you into gospel? What's your speed?
I am a 90s guy.
Okay.
I'm okay with things before the 90s, but it's not a lot that I like. I have growing up, I was played all the aggressive sports, right? I played football. I played football in college. I went to state in wrestling in high school. At one point, I even took on boxing.
Okay.
So for me, the 80s and 90s R&B, it calmed me down. When everything that you're doing, you have to be aggressive. You got to do this. I needed something to calm me down, and that was 90s R&B. But today, it's that October London.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
my all-time favorite artist is Marvin Gaye, by the way.
I was going to say modern day Marvin Gaye with October London.
Yeah. So when he came on the scene, I was like, is my ears deceiving me? I'm like, this guy, I mean, it's not Marvin. You can hear that. But his tribute to Marvin is so beautiful. You know what I mean? Even I watched a couple of his videos. He embodies Marvin in some ways, even in his videos. And I'm like, wow, this a beautiful thing.
It's going to be a great live show when he rolls through for sure.
Yeah. Also, I like a little Southern soul, or some people call it blues. I don't know what they call it all the way nowadays, but King George or that Pokey Bear. He got that one song because they funny. Like I love the humorous songs. Pokey Bear got that one song. I left home to be with my side piece, and the other one got this thing gonna keep on rolling. How he got 3 girls, and they tell a story. It was this one that my dad used to play by Irene Reed called The One-Eyed Man, and she talk about how she loved. She was a mean person in the song, and she loved her one-eyed man because she loved to see him cry out of one eye. and, so it was very humorous to me or whatever. So I laugh. So I like those things, and a lot of them have life lessons.
Sure.
And
Whiskey and Women nearly ruined my life.
Yeah. So I listen to them for the humor. It cracks me up. It keeps me light. I listen to stuff like that. But on the inside, I'm a lover. On the outside, I'm a tough guy. So, like the hard shell candy, they got the soft gooey stuff in the middle.
You got to, man. It's you got to take your lumps, fall down 7 times, stand up 8 as an entrepreneur, especially in the whiskey business. You're forging trails. You're really making it, man. I really appreciate it. What about you growing anything? Are you a gardener? Do you have some house plants? What do you mess with in terms of getting your hands in the dirt?
No, not anymore. I used to go every summer. My auntie, she's a little elderly, so she used to ask us to come over there, spring and summer, and we would do her garden for her, lay out her plants every year. So I'm very capable of doing it. When I bought my first and second property, I dug up the dirt myself, laid out the flowers. I did it. One of them, I bought a little pool and got some fish to go in there. And, I like getting my hands dirty. I like getting it's the time. It's finding the time to do it. When I was in high school, I was in horticulture, so we had to grow things. We grew things then. Growing up in the house where my mom had a garden, but other than as an adult, other than doing flowers, I haven't done anything yet. But I definitely go over my cousin's house, who does a lot of farming in their yard, and pick pickles, tomatoes to make my fried green tomatoes, and pickles. They make greens and stuff, and they make like cha-cha, different relishes with it. So when they cook those, they see me a little bit more often.
Yeah, you don't always have to pick it. You can just enjoy it, right?
Exactly.
Nice. So what advice would you give to aspiring entrepreneurs, whether in the whiskey business or not? What lessons have you learned? It sounds like in the real estate business as well as in the whiskey business.
I was mentoring one guy. He's 21 years old, still in college. He came out with a lure. It's some hair care product, and he said that his hair was falling out, so he started researching what to do, and he came up with this mix, and so then he wanted to sell it. And I'm like, "You're young, you're hungry, right?" So I said, "I can see that you're young and you're hungry. One thing you got to do is be approachable. There's a lot of people got good ideas, but you get lost in the ideas that you forget to be human beings. Have a smile on your face. Find a way to have fun. Do some cartwheels, some backflips, roll in the dirt. Those type of things. And I'm loud. I'm a loud person. I talk very loudly. So, I bring a lot of energy, and sometimes I have to check it depending on what environment I'm in. But my thing is enjoy the journey, have fun, make it have fun. That's the number one thing. When I go to these tastings, even if I come in there and I had a bad day, when I leave, I've had a good day because I've met people. I've interacted. I've got to put good vibes out there. I got to receive good vibes. Yeah. People, when they come around, they want people to talk to them. Either they just don't want to be bothered or they want good news. They want to hear positivity. People they tired of the negativity. COVID was negative enough for everybody.
Without a doubt.
So my number one thing would be approachable. Show yourself friendly to make a friend. That goes a long way when it comes to networking.
Oh yeah.
People is definitely going to remember the person that they had a good conversation with versus the one like, yeah, okay, all right, thank you, bye. You might do everything excellent, but the person with a personality will get a little bit further than you will. So that'll be the first thing I would say. Find somebody who's a good bookkeeper, because you get caught into doing that you forget about that part. That was one of the other struggles I have. I just thought about it. I didn't think about it when I said earlier. That bookkeeping part is always a struggle because, especially when you're funding everything. So when you're funding everything out your pockets, like, so does this go into a return category, return to me? Does this go into a profit category? Where does this fall? So somebody who's smarter than you are, especially when it comes to taxes, somebody who's smarter than you are.
Especially on the federal side with all the restrictions and regulations you got to go through. You got to account for everything.
And the IRS, speaking of which, the IRS has a website for small businesses that will help you answer some of those questions and do some of those things. So, going there, learning. Small business, for the most part, is just a learning experience, right?
Yeah.
There's some people who are considered small businesses, but I think when you look at their margins, I wouldn't necessarily call them a small business because their margins
like $50 million or less is the designation. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah. Because if I'm worth $35 million, my company, I don't know how small that'll be considered. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I would tell them find somebody who's smarter than they are, especially with taxes. Get somebody, if you're not the most craftiest person with social media, creating content, find somebody who is very well at doing that. And I would say maybe even have 2 or 3 people, because After a while, one person, everything started looking the same. And you want things not to look the same because you're not only advertising to one type of person, you're advertising to multiple type of people. You know, wearing a suit, that advertises to some people. What I'm wearing right now, when I go to the cigar spot, this fits them. You know, when I went to the hotel at the went to the hotel to have that meeting, I needed to be in a suit because it fitted the atmosphere. Understand your atmosphere, understand your crowd. That makes a difference. You know what product you have, what type of people buy these products. What do they do? You know, even look into like maybe even the jobs that those type of people work. You know, that makes a difference too, because I know the people that drink my drink, Renard Whiskey, they are usually people that makes somewhere about $65,000 a year or better. 65 is the low end.
Yeah.
Usually. So I know who I'm advertising to.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Just starting with client personas and being able to, write down the who, the what, the where, what they listen to, what they wear, where they go, what they do. Definitely important.
Which goes along with the music I listen to. Like, that's in my wheelhouse. If I pay the type of music that I listen to for those people, most of those people are, in an age range, probably over 30, that's making that type of money and spends that type of money, but yeah, that's the low end. You know what music to play on your ads?
100%.
When you got a video. I listen to rap. Don't get me wrong. I listen to rap. I know Redman about to come out with a album. They kind of teased his cover art, so he's coming back out with a new album. I listen to the young guys too. I listen to them, and every time I hear, I might hear one or two lines that tickles me, and I repeat that repeatedly. And I know that my daughter is getting to the age where she's going to be like, "Why are you listening to that? And why you keep repeating that one line?" The
wordplay, it catches. It's so sticky when you spin a verse to something that is really clever. Incorporating slang, incorporating brand recognition. I call them obviously lyricists, but street poets. To be able to put that together takes thought, takes understanding, it takes knowledge.
I think when Kanye West came out, he did some of his raps at poetry slams.
Yep.
Which highlighted the poetry side of it. He even I highlighted the fact that one of what he say, I'm not talking about birds and keys. I'm talking about like spoken words. He highlighted that like you can make good music and it not be about killing, guns, and things like that. Growing up, I grew up in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s. Rap music was about telling stories and getting people to dance.
Yep.
So I love a great story. I wish more rappers would tell stories. They may every 5 albums tell a story here and there. So like the NWAs, everything was like a story. How the day started. Ice Cube, that's how he wrote. He told about story. That's why at that time they called them like street reporters. They reported what was going on in the streets. So they was telling a story. They was like, I had, and somebody, it's been done before, and I didn't know that this was done when I came up with this thought. Like, I would love to be a millionaire. Go to these rappers from the 80s and 90s and say, hey, can I buy the rights to your music so that I can so that I can turn this into a movie.
Something happened with your audio on that call, Renard.
Hold on.
To clear a
Are,
notification.
are we back now?
Yep, we're good.
So I was saying I would like to buy the rights to some of these raps from the early 80s so I could turn them into movies. They're great storylines for movies. You know, and then like, and it's not all,
oh man.
yeah. Like Dana Dane was a great rapper, a great storyteller. Like he's not known today, but you know, like the Slick Rick children's story, bedtime. You know, these things will make great movies.
Why did you hit me?
Yeah, exactly. So you get something like that and you reintroduce it to like the younger generation. And hopefully when you reintroduce it to the younger generation, it can take away from the shooting as much. Because reality is a lot of the stuff that they learn about violence comes from television, rap music, and so on and so forth. There's been tons of studies about it. I mean, when I play football and get angry, I listen to rap music.
Oh, yeah.
It is what it is, you know. And then my last couple of songs will probably be like a slow song, and I would like envision. This is just funny to me. I would envision somebody taking my girlfriend, so I was like, oh, that's the one that took my girlfriend, so I'm going to really pound him. So that was just like some sad slow song I would play. It was just one of the things I did to get me hyper for pregame when I played. But yeah, I really would like to see a lot more storytelling and rap. You know what I'm saying? Just a fun days. There's no more fun rap.
Yeah.
You know, people make careers off of telling stories of having fun.
No doubt. Well, Renard, sage advice for anyone starting a business, reconnecting with their musical childhood, right? That's how we were all brought up. As we, look to round third on the interview, is there anything to close out the show? What do you have in the pipeline for new releases? You teased a rye. What else is coming in the short term here?
Right now, we don't have much else in the short term. It's OND, October, November, December, which means that it's time to get your winter spirits. You know, people are not outside. People drink a little more in the wintertime than they do in the summertime. It's too hot sometimes out there. So
family too.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but with my whiskey, one thing I've learned, and I've tested it out, it's great for at the fire pit. So right now it's fire pit season. Warm it up next to your fire pit, and try sipping on it that way. So it goes great with that. And for those who like to mix it up, it's that time of season. You can get either an apple cider or a pumpkin cider. Right now, add a little pumpkin apple cider to it. Sit it next to the fire. Now you got a nice warm drink and cocktails and conversation.
I like it. Well, thank you for your time. Thank you for cutting it up with us. Thank you for sharing the story of Renard Whiskey. We're going to pull you out in the green room. If you'll stick around for a minute or two, I'd love to chat before we close out. But I'm going to close out the show. Thanks to Renard Lewis with Renard Whiskey. We appreciate you taking time to share your story, sir.
Anytime. Salute.
All right. Beets, Beds, and Browns is an ag advocacy brand focused on educating people on how to eat healthy, sustainably, and inexpensively. Start your gardening journey today and grab your free seed kit at beetsbedsbrowns.com. You can listen to our thoughts via our podcast on YouTube and or your streaming venue of choice. Follow our progress on your social media of choice using the hashtag 100K in 10 years or directly via @BeetsBedsandBrowns. As always, grab some pumpkin spice or apple cider to pour your Renard whiskey and enjoy happy planting.